Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another week of learning how to create new types of deepfakes, using new techniques in the space and the ways that adversaries are using to create deepfakes today. Today, specifically, we are going to be diving into creating live deepfakes, which I think are one of the more prominent areas where adversaries are exploiting companies and individuals. How live deepfakes work is essentially someone can go on camera, say on Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, or some other video platform, even FaceTime, and essentially apply a virtual mask over their face that makes it look exactly like another person, convincing someone that that actually may be that person. Now, there was recently some buzz about a new GitHub repository called Deep Live Cam, which will be showing how it works today and showing the output that it can produce. And we've actually shown this in a few of our other videos, including the one on Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise, as well as one of our hiring ones as well. So today we'll dive into what this tool looks like, how it actually works, as well as what the output looks like and how adversaries are using it today. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, first, we'll jump into looking at the tool that's been released recently, that's been getting a lot of buzz, and talk about how to set this up and how to actually access this. Regarding accessing this tool, you can actually just look up Deep Live Cam GitHub, and you'll be directed to this link by Google. Furthermore, you can see the URL up here, github.com/hackcider/deep-live-cam. Now, this tool has been maintained very frequently. It looks like it was released a little while ago, but has had a lot of updates recently and has really become the state of the art in realistic live deepfakes. Now, jumping into setup here, it actually works on a majority of devices. I personally set it up on a Windows laptop with a GPU for being more live and being more realistic. However, you are able to set it up on Mac. Now, scrolling down here, you'll see a full set of documentation on how to install it. It's relatively simple. There's a few requirements to set up, including Python, pip, git, ffmpeg, as well as Visual Studio if you're working on Windows. You'll go ahead and clone this repository. You'll install all of the requirements. And then again, on Mac, there's a few separate commands that you'll need to run there as well. Now, looking at GPU acceleration, this is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to get much more realistic deepfakes as well as much less errors as well when you're trying to process a video feed. So this documentation here covers pretty much every implementation of a GPU that you can utilize, including CUDA with NVIDIA, Core ML for Apple Silicon, Core ML for older Apple computers, so Apple Intel, as well as Direct ML for Windows. So again, as you can see here, there's a lot of different ways to go ahead and install this, and it's been made to work very well on different operating systems and different machines. Now let's actually jump over to the Windows computer and see how this works with me and how we actually go about running this. Now that we have this all installed, we can go ahead and actually run it and see how this tool actually works. Now, previously I walked a little bit through that GitHub repository and the tools for installation there. However, if you run into any issues installing, you can feel free to reach out to any of us at Identify, and we'd be happy to help you with your setup. We definitely ran into a few on our own as we were setting this up. But basically, now that you've gotten this installed, you'll go ahead and CD into the Deep Live Cam repository here on your desktop, and you will go ahead and run your command to start. Now, as you guys will see in the GitHub repository, the commands to start are a little bit different depending on which version of Python you're using as well as which runtime you're using. So I'm using CUDA here, so I obviously have this set as my execution provider. Now that we've run this, it'll take a second to spin up, so we will go ahead and jump over to that. Now it looks like the app has successfully spun up, so we can actually dive into it. Now, a lot of the options here are actually not relevant to the live deepfake creation, as this tool additionally supports creating deepfake photos and deepfake videos. So things like keep frames per second, keep frames, keep audio, and many faces, those will primarily be focused on creating deepfake photos and videos. Now, how you could do this is select a face that you'd like to deepfake onto somebody else, and you can select a target image or video here. Now, for the purpose of creating a live deepfake, it's actually a lot simpler. What we'll go ahead and do here is we will select a face, and you'll actually recognize some of these as these are all prominent tech and cyber individuals. Now, once you've done this, you can go ahead and click live, and we should very shortly here see this pop up with a live rendition of George Kurtz, the CEO of CrowdStrike, on my face. Now, as you can see here, we have successfully created this live deepfake. For one, using a GPU device, you can see how real time this is and how it's able to move with my mouth. It's able to accurately create this rendition of George Kurtz, even extending the face, adding the facial hair, and really just using only one image to create this live rendition. And what's even crazier is how quickly you can switch between other individuals. Going back over here, we can go ahead and select another face and extremely quickly spin this up as a live deepfake of that individual as well. So this tool is very versatile in the fact that it can work very, very quickly across multiple different faces, enabling adversaries to very quickly switch between who they're trying to portray or who they're trying to mask themselves as. So here you can see we've done Jeff Bezos, another example here in the tech world. But going back, we can even do one more and do Alexis Ohanian, the founder of Reddit. Just like that, it's able to capture that facial hair, the face of the shape of the face, even while I'm wearing a hat. If I take a hat off here, you'll see that it maintains my hair. That's the one thing that these deepfake tools struggle to create a rendition of. However, I would anticipate it coming in the future. What we've seen today is that these tools are accelerating rapidly, with the last example that we had not being able to do facial hair or change face shape. Now, to take things even a step further and show how adversaries can actually use these, they traditionally are going to use a virtual camera to connect to Teams or Zoom call. And how this actually works is they work to a tool like OBS, for example, and they can add in this one here's the previous one. They can go ahead and because this is just running right on their laptop, which makes it super simple. So if we go over to window capture and we select the preview, you'll see here that we are able to create a fully functional virtual camera that we could use on any of the video conferencing tools. So this is how adversaries are exploiting this, is they are creating these live renditions or live deepfakes, claiming that their service is a little bit bad or their Wi-Fi connection is a little bit spotty to adjust or account for that slight delay or that slight change in lip movement. And then they'll just join a video call. And a lot of people, again, as we discussed earlier, will really trust what they're seeing because there's no reason for them not to, especially as this technology is extremely, extremely new. Now let's jump into some of the implications of this and going forward. Now, with all of this being shown, let's talk through some of the implications of this and how adversaries could actually use this to execute, for example, a cyber attack. By being able to essentially look exactly like somebody else, these tools and techniques enable adversaries or cyber attackers to essentially exploit the part of human reasoning that really trusts what you see. The way the human brain works is you trust whatever you see and process whatever you see much faster and much better than you would something you read. Now, because adversaries are able to essentially look exactly like someone that you may work with or someone in your family or your boss, this gives adversaries the ability to exploit that trust and in turn get you to reset a password or get you to send a wire transfer that you likely shouldn't. And these attacks are being used with audio as well. And individuals have gotten phone calls sounding like their family member is in trouble, and those phone calls will convince individuals to send large sums of money, thinking that they're helping a family member, but in reality they're sending it to a scammer. So it's important to remain diligent in these attacks. It's really important to really take a look and take a good listen at the audio and the video that's being shown to you to ensure that the person that you're talking to is actually real. And of course, it's important to implement software to try and protect against these types of attacks, which we are building at Identify with our KYE solution. Feel free to check us out on the Zoom Marketplace or feel free to reach out via our landing page at https://identifai.io. Thank you.